Okay, we back here in the spot, about to go over another tutorial. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. We got extra content on there. Um, I'll be bringing you more, and I'm about to start my sampling course and all that. But today we're gonna talk about coming up with better bass lines. Um, it's pivotal because just like the drums, if your bass line is not in the pocket, it's gonna sound kind of out of tune and sounds very unenjoyable. So today I'm gonna give y'all tips on how to make good bass lines. Preferably you want to get a bass player. If you're not a bass player, these tips can help you. I am a current bass player, so these are things that I think about if I'm not playing the bass. If I'm playing a virtual bass, this is the things that I use. So make sure y'all use headphones for this one, or make sure you got monitors or speakers hooked up so you can hear what I'm doing. But the first tip is using the bass as a percussion. So we in E flat. Yep, E flat. And the first one is using the bass as a percussion. Some people slap the bass, some people kind of thumb the bass, some people pluck it. It's different techniques. I know we don't have a bass right here, but we're using a virtual bass, and I'm going to show you how to get those particular sounds. So the first tip is using the bass as a percussion. Excuse the mess ups and everything. I'm trying to actively think what I'm doing. I don't usually think while I'm doing because I'm used to playing, but forget the mess ups. So that's tip one, using it as a percussion. The next one is marrying the bass with the kick. I kind of did a little bit of it there, but a lot of people do this with 808s, and you can use all these tips with 808s, but a lot of people do this particular thing when it comes to different styles of genres and everything. I know disco and all that kind of sometimes matches the bass with the kick, but here's an example. I kind of matched it, but like I said, I'm actively thinking and trying to play. Usually I don't do that, but at the end I'll use all these techniques and make up a bass line, and y'all see what I'm saying. So the next tip is having a conversation between the bass drum and the guitar. The reason I say that is because it has to be a constant flowing conversation. If two people are talking at once, nobody's listening. So it goes back to having that pocket and knowing the placement of everything. Do you want the kick to stand out more, or do you want the bass guitar to stand out more? So right here, I'm going to just try to talk back and forth, let it play, see if I can not actively think on this one, just play. I get what I'm saying? It's like they're having a conversation. They're going back and forth. Sometimes they might talk at the same time, but it's like, oh, excuse me, what were you saying? Etc. So think of it like a flow. Two people can't be talking at once, trying to listen and talk at the same time. So, which brings me to my next point. Staying in the pocket. I don't know if a lot of people know what that term means, but staying in the pocket is basically staying where you need to fit in. Like if I'm going everywhere, like the bass is a lead instrument, it's kind of going to throw it off. So I'll give you an example of that too, of just doing too much. Now, most of those were licks, but you don't need to be doing licks through the whole song. You got to be tasteful and add them at the right parts. So like a lick should be like a transition to the next thing. And that's what I mean by staying in the pocket. You got to be here. A lot of church musicians probably know what I'm talking about, but you have to leave space for everyone. Unless you want the bass to be the lead part, but you always got to leave room for the singer and the other melodic instruments. So stay in your pocket. You know what I mean? Don't do too much. Less is more a lot of times. And next thing is, with all these tips, get variation. Use all these different tips. Use it as a percussion instrument. You know what I mean? Marry it with the kick. What else I have? I got these wrote down. Have a conversation between the kick and the bass. And then stay in the pocket. If you can do those things, you'll have a pretty good bass line. But you got to be tasteful. I'm going to see what I can come up with. I did too much right there. See what I'm saying? I'm playing around, and like I said, always be mindful of the other melodic instruments. If they're doing a lot, like if you have a guitar in here and a guitar is hitting more licks, you probably need to stay more in the pocket. Now, if there's an open space where you can transition, that's the place to put it. So a lot of times when I was doing any type of lick, it started about right here, right before I started holding the bass line. So, being tasteful with it. See what I mean? So, just remember those tricks. I'm gonna come out with a number 2. I'm gonna be a little better on the keys, but haven't played in a minute, but these are things you need to think of. Using as percussion. Marry it with the kick. Having a conversation back and forth. Staying in your pocket. Don't be doing too much. And using variation of all these techniques. And you should come up with a pretty nice bass line. One extra tip. At different parts, you do different things. So I didn't do the same thing I did right here as I did right here. Unless you want to do it like that. Like I said, there's different variables. You have to always make sure there's space for everything. And less is more. I can't say that enough. A lot of great bass players, they know about placement. They know how to use space. So if you can do those two things, I'm telling you, make your bass lines even better. Even 808s. Sometimes I hear a lot of people misusing 808s. They're doing a lot. But you don't want to have too much going on. It's going to take away from the true meaning of what you're trying to do. unless you want that to be the upfront part. But like I said, be tasteful with it. Stay in your pocket. But if I got anything else y'all want me to go over, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you want me to do tutorials over, and I'll start working on them. All right, I'll see y'all. Peace.